गया है ये मन, खुल सा गया हर बंधन, जीवन अब लगता है पावन मुझको।
जीवन में प्रीत है, होठों पे गीत है, बस ये ही जीत है, सुन ले राही। तू जिस दिशा भी जा, तू प्यार ही लुटा, तू दीप ही जला, सुन ले राही।
यूं ही चला चल राही, यूं ही चला चल राही, कौन ये मुझको पुकारे। नदियाँ पहाड़ झील और झरने, जंगल और वादी, इनमें है किसके इशारे। यूं ही चला चल राही, यूं ही चला चल राही, कितनी हसीन है ये दुनिया। फूल सारे झमेले देख, फूलों के मेले, बड़ी रंगीन है ये दुनिया। ये रास्ता है कह रहा अब मुझसे, मिलने को है कोई कहीं अब तुझसे। रुम दुम दाना रत दुम दाना, रुम दुम दाना रत दुम दाना, रुम दुम दाना रत दुम दाना भैया।
सनी सा गा 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 मा 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 रे रे रे,
सनी सा सा सनी सा सा,
सनी सा गा 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 सा मा 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 सा पा पा,
सनी सा सा सनी सा सा,
यूं ही चला चला,
सनी सा सा सनी सा सा।
Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 9, ladies, 8, gentlemen, 7. May I have your attention, please? The show starts in 5, ladies.
Recording in progress.
A very good evening to each of you, to this exciting day today. I mean, convocation. I mean, that is something which we will always remember in our life. So whether it was school results, or it was college, or any little thing which we achieved. And this is something which we have achieved much later in life, and we really love it. And we're so very proud of it. I am Ravina Kavadia, certified genomics wellness consultant, and with Velocity Genetics for over 2 years. I'm part of batch 2 of CCNG and really feel proud of being part of this industry. It has helped me so much personally. And I'm sure, believe me, I really envy you all. I feel I should have also done this course again. It makes me feel so good. You know, there is so much which you can implement in your life. You can understand yourself better and you can understand others better. You can help others and you can help the community as well. Well, a warm welcome to each one of you all our ex-CCNG students, CCNG faculty, that is Miss Reena, Miss Lavina, Miss Riddhi, and Ria, our CPO, Mr. Milind Doshi, our CMD, Mr. Stan Sarao, our chief guest for today's evening, the convocation itself, Dr. Minakshi Garg and Dr. Shukshma Sharma, and welcome all of you to this beautiful evening. I'm sure let us all make it a great one. Let us all enjoy it and really celebrate what we have learned, over the last 2 months, all the hard work, all the various seminars, all the little study which we did. We became students and there was so much of learning, so much of sharing, and which got fantastic faculty. I mean, what better could we ask for? So welcome all of you all today. And also a lot of people may be attending this webinar for the first time. A warm welcome to you too. And this is basically the convocation which is being organized. This entire CCNG program is organized by Wignet, which is Velocity Institute and Genomics, Nutrition and Entrepreneurship Training. Okay, so this is the sixth batch, and we are very, very happy to have all of you all. The duration of this would roughly be up to 9:30, around 9 o'clock, we shall have the results out. I request all of you to make this and make it more participative and interactive. Although you will be kept on mute, please put on your videos so you can see each one, you can clap and celebrate together. Use the chat box for any sort of information or anything which you have any doubts, etc. Okay. And now I would like to introduce you all to somebody who I would say is the father of velocity genetics. I would call him that. He is a multifaceted personality with absolutely strong administrative skills, a science graduate with a diploma in journalism. Ever since 1995, he has successfully donned senior editorial and sales positions. He's been a team leader, he's been an author, trainer, business consultant, and CEO of various companies. Since 2004, he's intensely engaged in propagating a wide range of wellness initiatives in his illustrious career in his health and wellness industry, and has significant accomplishments to his credit. Founded in October 2016, Velocity Genetics is his dream project, something which he already thought of. He always thought of doing something for everyone in the community. So it is not, when you're talking of health and wellness, it's not only for yourself. It is something which will spread to create a ripple in the society. And that is exactly what he did. So it is his dream project, and that introduced nutrigenomics and gene-based wellness solutions to health-conscious individuals in our country. His vision is to create an informed community of health-conscious individuals and families who pay attention to the root causes of existing health conditions and predict future health risks using predictive genetic screening and opt for wellness solutions. He leads from the front, and he is an extremely charismatic leader. He's very, very humble, very down to earth, and very unassuming. You would not imagine him, but he's someone which we really admire and love. He's also, I would say, my guru in a way. Yes, I would really say and accept that. So I would request all of you, put your hands together and welcome, and please put your videos on. please put your videos on, put your hands together, and with waving of hands, let us welcome our CMD Chief and Managing Director of Velocity Genetics, Mr. Stan Sarao. So I invite him over to today. He is going to make the key address. So he will be addressing all of y'all. So I request of all of y'all to please participate and please listen attentively. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ravina, and a warm welcome to each and every one of you. Good evening, namaste, and it's been a week full of webinars almost every day, and you must be getting a little fatigue of various webinars on various topics. But nonetheless, all the people who are here, I would like to heartily welcome you once again on behalf of Velocity Genetics Management and especially Wignet. As Ravina already told you, Wignet stands for Velocity Institute of Genomics, Nutrition and Entrepreneurship Training. We started this institute way back in 2018. It took us a little while before we actually could get on with the business that we wanted to do. And here we are. Lockdown has been a disaster for almost all of us, but it also came with a few advantages. And one of the things is that, we have the ability to connect. I'm not sitting in Mumbai today. I had to actually travel. And Ravina said, I'm what do you call it? Down to earth. Well, I'm not really down to earth today. I'm actually sitting on the 10th floor of a property, and I'm actually speaking to you. So these are the advantages of the phase that we spent in lockdown. And one of the things that we did is to connect people on a day-to-day basis on various subjects, that has to do with their health and wellness, especially about immunity, which was a buzzword, and everybody would become a virologist and then give all kinds of opinion and expertise on this subject. So that's where we probably wanted to put a little bit of science into it, and then wanted to put a lot of things in perspective. So this is what we did during the lockdown, and 6 batches of Ccng. So I would like to especially extend a very, very warm welcome to 2 of our chief guests today. It's a double dhamaka today. Usually we have 1 chief guest, but today we are very fortunate enough to have 2 people, very distinguished personalities in their respective fields, coming and appreciating the work that we are doing, appreciating and acknowledging the students who had the courage to actually enroll into a course which is relatively very new, probably didn't have much of an idea as to what that course would really be when they started. But I think at the end of this course, not only the students, but also the faculty who's teaching them are more and more convinced and being fulfilled for the wonderful work that we are doing. So at Velocity Genetics, we are really blessed to have a lot of people supporting us. What I'm going to do in the next 5-10 minutes is to share my screen, and then go through a few slides to put things in perspective, so that we're going to have a very fruitful next 60 minutes with us, maybe less than 60 minutes. So, the convocation ceremony of the Ccng batch 6 is definitely a proud moment for all of us, not just the students, but also everybody at the management of Velocity Genetics and Wignet. So as I said, one of our vision is to help contribute to this major cause of creating a healthy nation. A healthy nation can not be a healthy nation when we have so many lifestyle diseases, chronic diseases, lifestyle related diseases, or life-threatening diseases. We can't be the capital of all that diseases. So we got to be healthy. We need to have healthy people. And how can we have healthy people is by understanding, learning new things, and making subtle changes that we need to be doing in our day-to-day life, in our choices. And that's what wellness is all about. So we position ourselves as the pioneers and market leaders in gene-based wellness solutions. We do a genetic testing, and based on that, we give solutions to people with which they will be able to help themselves lead a life of more healthier, happier, and a longer life, a fulfilling life, provided they get into the participatory mode. It's not just about you doing a test and not doing anything. Along with that, what we have done is, this could be a physical distribution of the wellness, but on an intellectual side, we actually thought we need to create massive awareness about this genomic wellness, and especially about nutrigenomics, because we all understand about nutrition to an extent. We also have heard very sporadically about the word genetics, DNA, etc. But just to put together the concepts of nutrition and genetics and put them into practice on a day-to-day basis is what one of the intentions of this nutrigenomics sector is. And with Wignet, we were able to enlighten a lot of people. And I think in the video that we played at the beginning, you must have seen a lot of programs that we have done of all kinds of all formats, all duration, different duration, just to ensure that we create a lot of awareness. So what is the awareness that we're going to create? Our organization is based on two very strong fundamental philosophies, which have been scientifically advocated over a period of time. So the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates, says, let food be thy medicine. Aapka jo khana hai, wahi aapka dawa hona zaruri hai. But today we have actually forgotten that, and no wonder we are now attracting a lot of lifestyle diseases, and we can't stop complaining about the discomfort that we have. But who exactly is the cause or the reason for this kind of a situation? It's we ourselves and the lifestyle that we have adopted. So here our endeavor is to enlighten people about careful choices that people can make on a day-to-day basis about their nutrition. And also Thomas Alva Edison's philosophy really inspires us. And then he says that the doctor of the future will no longer treat the human frame with drugs. He will not administer a lot of prescriptive medicine, but he will actually not only prevent but also cure with nutrition all kinds of health conditions. So with nutrition, so today there are very less people who will actually subscribe to this philosophy that medicine, the food can be medicine. And as we keep saying all the time, the human body is designed to consume food, and it survives on a balanced nutrition. It doesn't really survive on medicine. It's only at the extreme cases that we need to take resort to these kind of medicines and have the life support. So our philosophy is FAME. FAME stands for food as medicine every day. So that's where we have the secret of holistic, well-being, and that's what even World Health Organization also advocates. Now, for all of you, I want to have a simple question. I want you to use your chat box and then answer. Now, some of you, I'm sure people who are like 30 plus, may sure have used this, roll produced by a very famous photography brand. So can you tell me by typing on the chat box as to which is that brand? Okay. Yeah, some of you getting it right already. So it's the Kodak brand. So if you could see here, Kodak actually went out of the business when there was a change in the technology. The technology advanced, but Kodak thought probably we need not really advance as much as the speed in which the technology is growing, because they were a little complacent. Now, we are giving a lot of examples like the Hindustan Motors, which were manufacturing ambassador cars, or the HMT watches, which are like the elite class brand at some time. Today, they don't really exist. Okay. Now, what really happened to them is because they were not with the time. Forget about being ahead of the time. They were not even with the time. Now, what really happens as far as the healthcare is concerned? Now, when we're talking about the healthcare, is the healthcare ready for the disruption? And the answer is yes. There are technologies today coming, whether it's artificial intelligence, whether it's machine learning, whether it is the robotics, which are now probably able to do, surgeries of human beings from a remote place, and so many other things that are coming together. And today we have information explosion that's happening, and the consumer-driven digital disruption is happening even in the healthcare as well. The whole pandemic phase that we have seen, we have actually been fed with so much of an information, And we probably are a little pleasantly surprised as to what the future holds for all of us. We are now talking about climate change. We are talking about so many other, the fossil oil not being there, and then electric vehicles or biofuels. So the landscape of the conventional wisdom that we have done in many areas is changing. And the same thing is happening also in the healthcare sector. There is disruption that's happening. And if we are not adapting to that disruption technology, and we will be like a Kodak ambassador or an HMT, and then we'll be lagging behind, or probably we'll be like using 2G mobile phones. Now, none of you, I'm sure, are using 2G phones anymore, because either you are in 4G or probably will adopt 5G very, very soon. So looking at the healthcare industry, I want to tell you that amongst the top technologies that are, or the sectors that are going to have a very, very strong impact on the economic, on the ecosystem of various countries by 2025. If you can see the next generation, genomics can be, it's one of the top 7 technologies. So at a subject or a topic which probably might look like it's not a necessity, or it's not a need, it's a little luxury at this point in time. Come 2025, genetics is going to be a part of our life. It's going to be an essential part of our life. So that's the sector that we are going to talk about. So हमारी health की जरूरत हम सभी लोगों को है ही. बचपन से हम लोग जानते हैं कि precaution is better than cure. Now we understand precaution is not just better, but even cheaper than cure. And you cannot be over depending on anything like insurance, medical insurance, or the medical procedures, or the so-called emergency take care. No, nothing of that sort, unless you are actually building yourself a very strong immunity. And to that extent, you need to be aware as to how the body functions, the body's the physiology, the anatomy, the metabolism of the nutrition that we are consuming. So that wisdom is not going to be any premium and superior anymore. It's actually the basic things that are going to come. So that's where we need to be looking at. So cracking our genetic code is going to be something that every individual will consider in the future, because that is going to give us the GPS of living a healthy life. We didn't have GPS earlier. We still used to find our way. But with the work that we have, or with the kind of approach that we have towards life, GPS is making our life more simpler. We have clarity about our travel plans, and everything about the geographical information that we need to be looking at. So when we talk about which are the technologies that are going to be having a lot of impact on our lives, a few years back, the internet made a lot of impact. A few years later, it was smartphones. Genetics is also set to do a lot of impact on our body. And if you also see that there's a lot of talk going on about the digital assets, the currencies which are beyond the sovereign right of the establishments. But we are talking about blockchain, which is a powerful technology. But one of the recent surveys, it's going to have a 2% impact on the economy, whereas if you see at the top of the table, it's the telemedicine. Just imagine, irrespective of the economic strata that we belong to, medicine is something that we need to be consuming in order to lead a healthy life. Now, how about consuming medicine, consuming food as medicine? So you will see today people are getting more aware about the food that we are eating. So there is not just there is an art of eating right, but there is also a science behind eating right. So that's exactly what we're looking at. So today, it's not about just eating for hunger or just to, keep ourselves healthy. It's about personalized nutrition. You can't have one size fits all phenomenon anymore in the nutrition that we are consuming. So that's why we've got to be very, very careful in the choices that we are making. And nutrition advice, which is tailor-made for you. It's a bespoke technology which actually is understanding your own physiology, because we are not equal. We are not the same. We are all unique individuals. So that's what we need to be understanding. So why we need to look at the genes? When we talk about epigenetics, and it's scientifically proven that the right food can change the gene expression, and the gene expression can go either way. If you are not eating the right food, the wrong food choices itself can be very detrimental to our health. Whereas if you're making right choices based on our genetic makeup, they can do wonders for us. So friends, that's exactly is the philosophy upon which we actually founded Wignet way back in 2018, and we got into action only in 2020. And in the words of Nelson Mandela, we can actually nobody can deny what's happening around us. Everybody feels that education gives you the knowledge, and today knowledge is the power. Whether it is to do with technology, whether it's to do with any other aspect of our life, without education, will not be powerful. It can move the countries to a different GDP level and at a different economy level. Japan is the best example, where people with their hard work, commitment, dedication, and the kind of education system that they created today are one of the major economies, beating even India, in spite of its geographical landscape being much smaller. So friends, this has been our vision. We want to create a lot of genomic wellness professionals. We are surrounded by an illness world, a sickness world. It's become like a big industry. That's where we need some sanity. We need some common sense that, it's a simple phenomenon to understand the human body and synthesize it, and then try to make healthy choices on a day-to-day basis. And that's where we want to create those genomic professionals. Okay, I might be lagging a little because of the poor internet connect, excuse me for that. But yeah, so this is exactly what we want to do. So we have done a lot of training programs, a lot of workshops, scientific symposiums, residential workshop. So we also started with sustained accreditation of genomic education, because the education keeps, the genomics keeps evolving on a day-to-day basis. There are so many research papers that are being published. So we did around 7 such programs in the last 18 months or 20 months. And we did this on Fridays and Saturdays between 10 and 1 for 2 days. So it's a 7-8 hour session that we did. And we covered a lot of various topics. And most of the sessions were offered for free to the participants. And the next important thing that we did actually was to have the 2-month certificate course in nutrigenomics. So that's what the CCNG is all about. And we are going to today have the convocation of the 6th such batch. So why CCNG? Because you can actually become a professional. This is actually for serious people only who would like to establish themselves as professionals in the field of genomic wellness. We have the next batch also coming, which is in the month of February. We're going to start our classes on 18th Friday. So till 17th February, we'll give you an opportunity to register yourself if you wish to do this course. This is an online course, has 50 chapters, very, very interactive sessions on Zoom. 2 hours into 8 classes, which is 16 hours. And this is what the course is. So there's a very professional, experienced, and well-exposed team of faculty who are not only giving you academics, but also are dealing with the patients or the customers on a day-to-day basis. So they have that real-life insights to make this very, very interesting. So what I believe is what we have at Velocity is Velocity Genetics is the future. So with this, I want to just take a break, and I'd like to request the chief guests. They need to be speaking today because they come from a lot of experience. So I'd like to request one of our nutrigenomic counselors. Now, just want to tell you, both Lavina Cardoza and Reena Baliga have been mentored by one of the personalities who is the chief guest. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge them for producing wonderful professionals. And I'd like to now request Lavina Cardoza to introduce formally one of our chief guests. And after that, we will listen to them. And I'd like to really thank you for the time that you spent listening to me. So it's over to Lavina. Lavina, let's have the honors of introducing Dr. Meenakshi.
Thank you, Stanza. Good evening, everyone. I welcome each one of you once again. Thank you for joining us this evening. Sharing our experience a little bit. As the nutrigenomic counselors, our primary role is to counsel based on genetic reports, whether or not you are tolerant or intolerant to certain foods, or what type of exercise is suitable for you, what intensity, whether or not you're susceptible to a particular disease or not. But unfortunately, we cannot start with a genetic report straight away. Not everything happens because of your genes, right? Sometimes you have to look at your lifestyle, because some people, even if they are facing acidity, bloating, they look for answers in the genes. It could be your own lifestyle, it could be your own wrong lifestyle choices, dietary pattern that could make you face certain health challenges. So we have to begin every counseling from the scratch. So it was really becoming a challenge for us, and hence we decided to conduct free webinars for the people to educate them. I'm sure most of you guys have been attending the free webinars, and for people who would want to learn a little more, we've been conducting Ccng courses as well, so where we learn about the interaction between the human genome, nutrition, and health. I'm really proud for all if you to be a part of this journey with us. I would like to introduce the first chief guest of the day, who's none other than my mentor, my guru, my professor, Dr. Meenakshi Garg, former coordinator of Department of Dietetics and Applied Nutrition at Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, Karnataka. She completed a PhD in nutritional sciences from Indira Gandhi National Open University in New Delhi in August 2019. She started her professional career in the year 1991. She worked as a faculty at the Manipal College of Medical Sciences in Pokhara, Nepal for 10 years from 1994 to 2004, and taught nutrition to MBBS students for 10 long years. She returned to Vaksha, Manipal, Karnataka in the year 2004 and helped commence PG diploma in dietetics course. She was instrumental in upgrading the diploma and commenced MSc Dietetics and Applied Nutrition program in Vaksha, Manipal in 2010. She worked with the Manipal group for close to 27 years. She has to her credit 11 research publications in national, international index journals, guided over 90 postgraduate research projects. I was one among the students, proudly. Is a PhD co-guide, paper reviewer for Elsevier journals, and collaborator in interdisciplinary funded research projects. Her academic and research passion is in the area of community nutrition, clinical nutrition, dual burden of malnutrition, diet and lifestyle disorders, and nutrition transition related outreach and research activities. Aren't we privileged to have her this evening? I welcome you, Meenakshi ma'am.
Thank you so much, my dear Lavina, for the kind introduction. A very good evening, Dr. Stan Sarayo, Dr. Milind Doshi, Dr. Sukshma Sharma, all the nutrigenomic counselors there, Lavina, Reena, Riddhi, Ria, and Team Wignet. Special greetings to the stars of today's convocation, the proud graduates of the 6th batch of the certificate course in nutrigenomics. I would like to begin by thanking Dr. Stan Sarayo and Team Velocity for inviting me today to be a part of this beautiful and momentous occasion. I am here today all because of Lavina, who has stayed in touch over the years and contacted me to be a part of this program, which I was really very pleased to accept. I have seen her tremendous holistic growth over the years with immense pride. Also, I'm very happy to share the platform today with Sukshma, who is Lavina's batchmate. And you know what they say, life does come full circle. And the biggest rewards any faculty can have is to see their alumni achieve their dreams and go higher than what we really thought. It is also a pleasant surprise to see Reena Baliga today. She is our alumni from the first batch of MSc Dietetics and Applied Nutrition. I feel extremely privileged to be among you all and to join you all this evening. The convocation day, like you say, is a culmination of the academic term. It is a time for celebration and recognition of the students as well as the institution's achievements. And I was very happy to see the videos and also to hear to Mr. Stan Sarayo with all the vision and whatever the achievements you have so far. And it's a void that you are really filling with genomic wellness, the program that you are carrying on. It is also a time for teamwork and being proud of what the Institute stands for and believes in. Education is not just acquisition of knowledge, but also formation of character, and thus it plays a very vital role in everyone's life. And in this particular course, you have people choosing from various backgrounds and coming into this program. Better education gives one the power to change their life. It changes mindsets completely and develops confidence that in turn helps in building our personality. It facilitates learning, increases knowledge, and enhances skills. I quote our very beloved Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam: learning gives creativity, creativity leads to thinking, thinking provides knowledge, and knowledge is something that makes you great. Unquote. I would like to share my screen because I have a few slides that I would like to share. Please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Can? Okay, 1 second. I'll go full screen on this. Yeah. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so now nutrigenomics is something I'm not going to talk much about. This is something that you all have been doing, and you know the definitions and the understanding that you have, and these are the I'm sorry. Yes, I'm trying to. 1 second. Trying to exit full screen mode. Okay. So as you see here, so nutrigenomics is what you have been teaching, and this is what the students have been learning, and very heartening to see this course being offered by Wignet. Very much needed, has a huge potential in improving health outcomes, because there is a very definitive etiological evidence to what you are talking about. And now we know the latest research and trends that you see, they're talking about its role in NCDs, in attention deficit hyperactivity disorders, also in the area of inborn errors of metabolism. So my congratulations to all the graduates for choosing to join this course and completing it successfully. You should be extremely proud of yourselves. And also, my compliments to the entire team for conceiving it, conceptualizing, and implementing this program, which does fill a very big void. I look forward to this becoming bigger and upscaling to a diploma or a degree program, because that is where the next step as it would head to be, because the 2 months that you are giving them is, I believe, very intense, and just giving them the flavor of what genomic wellness is all about. One very important area that I was very happy to see being covered as a part of the CCNG course is epigenetics. And I'm sure by now the passing out students have understood the significance in tackling some of the modifiable risk factors of certain diseases in adult life, especially the non-communicable diseases. And we see a lot of these things coming out in the news, where how the lifestyle of the mother or the nutrition of the mother during pregnancy is going to affect that child, not only while it is a zygote or a fetus or a neonate, but this is something that will continue through in their adult life. And a lot of the times we talk about where to intervene and where to look after, so that we can prevent some of the diseases that are happening in the adult life. And like we said earlier, they are some of the lifestyle diseases are of our own making, but then there are certain times where we can intervene. And as very rightly said, we know epigenetics is a study of heritable changes in gene expression or the cellular phenotype uh, caused by mechanisms other than changes in the underlying DNA. And that is by the term epigenetics, which is over and above genetics. And this is something that we can take care of when the mother is conceiving, and we look after the child at that point. So we understand that what the mother is going to do during this time, her nutrition, her lifestyle, her exposures, is what is going to affect this fetus throughout their life, and not just when they are in utero. So that is something of huge importance that we have understood, and that is why a lot of the times we say what our parents and grandparents ate, how much exercise they did, what chemicals they were exposed to. These are all factors that would affect how our bodies are going to look and work as we move ahead. So some of these changes that happen as a result of the epigenetics, and if the environment is not right, it is insufficient, or the exposures are toxic, some of these changes may remain through cell divisions for the remainder of the cell's life. And the research is still out there to say whether they will last for multiple generations. But we also know that there is no change in the underlying DNA sequence as such. But how the organism's genes are going to express themselves, meaning the epigenomes can change in function to what one eats, what one smokes, and what one drinks. This basic principle of epigenetics means that while we can't control what genes are going to pass on, genetics is something we know that is going to pass on, we can probably control what genes are going to get turned off or turned on. That is, the expression of the genes is something that we can take for. So therefore, it becomes an important focus during in utero growth and nourishment. And this is something that we now link to the fetal origin of the adult onset of disease, what we also earlier used to call as the Barker's hypothesis. So that is where it emerges from. And we have numerous studies to see that there is an intergenerational effect, and how what one generation is doing is going to impact probably even the third generation that is going to be developing inside the mother. And this is exactly what a little while earlier Mr. Stansraya was talking about, as to how we know that there are certain things which are genetically controlled, but there are also things like lifestyle, which are in our environment. And something I want you to notice, epigenetics comes in this 80% of when we say the environmental factors and the nutritional factors are going to impact how our health is going to be when we become adults and how we move forward. So this is something probably an area of huge interest to me, because it is a modifiable time. It is a time of looking after the baby when it is in the mother's womb, and that in utero nourishment at this time, what we give is probably going to help us to reduce some of that burden of the non-communicable diseases. There's no point in waiting for things to go wrong and then looking after them, which we are doing obviously. But then when we have a chance, that's something we can do. Another thing, moving off track a little bit from genomic wellness, is again something that when we are talking of health of populations and communities, another reality that all practicing nutritionists, dietitians, counselors, we need to keep in mind is the triple burden of global malnutrition that we are looking at. So you have the whole spectrum. Earlier, we were only talking of undernutrition, and then we talked about micronutrient deficiencies. Now we know that the other spectrum of overweight, obesity is something that is impacting, and that then becomes a risk factor for the lifestyle disorders that we are talking of. And it is affecting children, adolescents, women, and this is something that has been talked about for a very long time now. So you can see here how the overweight, including obesity, has both short-term as well as long-term implications. So not something that we can forget. And what is the sad part of this whole thing is, we know, we are aware that this exists, this paradox that exists in our society. This is data from India, from the National Family Health Survey. This is from 2015-16. I'm sorry, I don't have the infographic for the NFHS 5 data, but very sadly, these numbers have actually deteriorated in most of the states in the NFHS 5 data. So percentage of obesity has gone up, prevalence of stunting and wasting has gone up, and on the other side, we have increased prevalences of anemia across all age groups, including the reproductive age group. So this is something, and we know that we have very robust policies, programs to look after that. So a lot of food for thought to understand as to why still we are not able to tackle these numbers. Though the NFHS 5 report is 5 years hence, so that is the 2019-20 report that I'm talking about, and that is available for those of you who are interested, can go through that. Now, I would like to touch a bit on interprofessional education and practice, and this is a fellowship that I have recently completed after my PhD. It was a 2-year international fellowship, wherein very important for us to understand that most of the health and disease conditions that we are talking of cannot be solved by one professional. We cannot really work in silos. So as you can see the definition here, interprofessional education refers to occasions when students from 2 or more professions in health and social care learn together during all of it or part of their professional training and trying to cultivate collaborative practice for providing patient-centered care. Now, my point, why I brought this up is the CCNG program is actually interprofessional, because I'm told you have professionals coming in from various backgrounds, various academic backgrounds, and various professions. And I think even the faculty who are taking care of the program also come from diverse academic qualifications and backgrounds. So, since you are already doing it, I would recommend that you can advertise it as an interprofessional course. It would be a value add for you. It is the way forward. We know that realistically and in practice, it takes a team of diverse professionals to holistically manage health and disease conditions and to improve outcomes. So we can no longer continue to work in silos. Interprofessional education and collaborative practice is the way forward. So you are already here. This is the WHO framework for action on interprofessional education and collaborative practice. You are already doing interprofessional education. You are getting the health workforce ready. Make them understand to collaborate and be practice ready. Do collaborative practice, strengthen the health system, and help to improve the health system. So this is something, it's very rare. There are not many people doing interprofessional programs in our country as of now. And you take examples, whether you talk of diabetes, whether you talk of a child suffering from severe acute malnutrition, you talk of a person suffering from tuberculosis, anything for that matter, communicable, non-communicable diseases, infectious diseases, everything has a built-in interprofessional component. It's interdependent. Everybody is interdependent. So this is something I very quickly wanted to touch upon, and something that you can be proud of because you're already doing interprofessional education at your institute. Some key messages for the graduates. One, I know this is something you must have been told all the time. Practice with evidence, have an evidence base, with reasoning, with justification. Becomes very important that you learn from that. And when you have contradicting literature, look for systematic reviews, look for meta-analysis so that you understand what is the justification and where are you coming from. And in the process, become evidence gatherers yourself, become researchers. You're going to be practicing. So gather that information, gather that data, and use that later on for justifying whatever you are recommending. So evidence-based practice and application of what you have learned, you're going out into the world now. So this is something that is important, and I'm sure you have been told to do that, so please do that. Focus on medical nutrition therapy, including for COVID patients, because we've been talking about immunity and the immune boosters, and we all know what happened during this phase. People started buying over-the-counter supplements, and they overdid on those supplements. Whereas if you look at the literature and the evidence that I'm talking about, you will find that there is no recommendation to include those immune boosters as supplements. That is something we can easily get from a balanced diet and a wholesome diet that we are consuming. So stress on seasonal, affordable, and locally available foods which are rich in essential nutrients, immunonutrients, phytonutrients, probiotics, prebiotics, all the fancy words, you name it, and the foods have it. And very rightly, Mr. Stansrai was showing that let food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And Hippocrates said in another of his very famous quotes that if we were able to give the right amount of nutrition and the right amount of exercise to people, we would not really need medicine in order to cure the ailments that we are looking at. And this is something he said such a long time back, and it's true even till today. And as you go out to practice, be good listeners, be passionate, be empathetic, because I remember earlier when people went to doctors or health professionals, they would take a lot of time to listen and take a very good history and a background. And half of the patients' worries and anxieties were settled with that because somebody listened to them. Now that's something in this fast-paced world is disappearing, but very pleasantly, like we were talking of telemedicine earlier and the tele-consultations, through that now some of that is actually coming back and people are listening and people are talking. And finally, continue lifelong learning. There's no two ways about it. You have to keep yourselves equipped and updated. And I'm very proud to say that I have grown. I have learned with every batch of students that I have come across. And we have to stay open to that learning from whatever source it comes. And in today's world of technology and the internet, we know already the patient or the client or the customer, the community is well informed. And they are going to look at information even before they come to you. They're going to challenge you. They're going to ask you so many questions. We can't brush them aside. We can't say that, no, this is rubbish and I'm qualified and you are not qualified, because even among the Google masters or the Google addicts, as we call them, there are people who just see any blogs and there are people who go into actual research articles. So they will question you, they will talk to you. So we need to up our game. We need to be current, we need to be specific, and we need to make sure that we are able to give them what they are looking for. So just a slide that I picked from a document which was released during COVID times: make food your priority to strengthen your immunity. And this is the message. I'm sure that's what you are giving, and that's what is very important, to tell people that all this is there in the food that we are eating, the day-to-day foods that we are eating. It's not just the nutrients, the immune properties are there, and also functional components which help in reducing the reactive oxygen species and reducing the oxidative stress in the body, and various terminal illnesses, non-communicable diseases, you name them. The research is really going on out there. I would like to end with a quote from Swami Vivekananda: Uttishtatha Jagrata Prapya Varani Bodhata, unquote, meaning arise, awake, and stop not till your goal is reached. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Dr. Stan Sarayo. I'm sorry for the spelling mistake there. Dr. Milind Doshi, Lavina, and the entire team of Velocity Genetics. Ravina, you are a wonderful host. Congratulations, cheers, best wishes and blessings to the 6th batch of Ccng graduates. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Meenakshi. I think with the wealth of wisdom that you have, the experience that you have, you've been able to guide us and also acknowledge us in what we probably can do. And it's true that a lot of times people funnily say that your health depends on what your grandmother ate. So we all got to be careful that we got to be eating right. So our grandchildren will thank you. Otherwise, they probably yell at you even when we are not there. So the field of nutrigenomics is a very, very emerging field. And of course, we've been able to answer a lot of questions of the people. And we love doing that simply because of our conviction and passion. And with people like you around us, guiding us and giving us mentorship, I'm sure we definitely will be able to scale up. And why not? The certificate course can go to a diploma course and even a degree course as well. So thank you so much for that, and we'll definitely work towards it. Now I know at the end of this program, the climax is of course announcing the results of this batch, and I'm sure all the students must be waiting, saying that, look, I want to know my results. But we have another very distinguished personality. I would like to request now, I'd let Lavina do the honors again to introduce the other chief guest that we have today evening. Lavina, screen is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Meenakshi ma'am. It actually took me back to the classroom again. Thank you for touching on epigenetics. Your presence, your words have actually, helped to magnify the cause in a best possible way. And you also have other students. Tulsi, Siri also present here. Half of your classroom is right here.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lavina, for telling me that. Thank you.
I'll introduce the second chief guest of the day, who's my very good friend, my batchmate, Dr. Sukshma Sharma, Associate Professor, Nutrition and Dietetic Symbiosis Skills and Professional University, Pune. She's completed PhD in Food Science and Nutrition from University of Leeds, UK. She was awarded the prestigious Leeds International Research Scholarship, which is conferred to only 9 people around the globe. She is a certified diabetes educator from International Diabetes Federation in Europe. She has 8 years rich international research and clinical nutrition experience. Her research projects have been listed in WHO. She's also the founder of an online diet consultancy titled All Things Diet. She's an enthusiastic faculty who believes in connecting with temperaments of students to make them learn concepts to practice and not just by heart. She is currently with Symbiosis Skills and Professional University and manages the MSc and BSc Nutritional Sciences and Dietetics program. She believes in work-life balance and loves interacting with the young crop to continuously learn the new trends. It's our greatest honor to have you with us today. I would like to give my heartiest welcome, Dr. Sukshma.
Hello, good evening. A very, very good evening to each one of you for making it here today. And thank you so much for that lovely intro. I myself have a, I can't believe you've made the introduction about me so well. It feels so good to listen to it. And thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Thank you so much. A very warm good evening also to each one of you present here today, to celebrate the 6th convocation of the Wignet course batch, and special greetings to Dr. Meenakshi ma'am, Mr. Stan, Mr. Doshi, the young and dynamic team of Velocity, parents if present here, families if present here, and all you enthusiastic students. Thank you for making me a part of your day, and I feel truly honored and special to be part of your celebrations. Dr. Meenakshi, as Lavina said earlier, was my HOD in Manipal University, and I did my MSc Dietetics degree a decade ago there. And I think it feels so awesome to actually share the same platform as a chief guest alongside her exactly a decade later. So I must have done so many or some things right in my life. So today is your day, and this reminds me of my convocation in Manipal and Leeds, and the feeling of being, on top of the world when you clench that certificate, which you've worked so hard for in understanding, the concepts, and I'm sure your heart is full of pride. I would like to congratulate each one of you for your consistent interest and efforts that have led you to successfully complete this course. But my congratulatory wishes also go especially to your families as well. Your partners, your family have played a huge role or a lead role in making you reach wherever you are today. And I think much due is not given to them as they deserve for handling the backstage events, while you are here attending this course very religiously and understanding all the concepts with your efforts. I especially appreciate the efforts taken by the faculty team at Velocity, for investing efforts in making such a robust and high quality course content. And I have, I have been in touch with Velocity. We happened to collaborate on one of my university's events, and they were just so professional and impressive. Their course content is really good and very much deserves an appreciation. Also, the faculty, what I have observed here during my collaboration and what I observed till now is that they put a lot of efforts in making students, understand concepts that, which are used, which can be used at an industry level, because at the end of the day, we want application-based programs. So that is your, your efforts have paid off. So congratulations to the faculty, and headed by Mr. Stan, amazing work. So congratulations, you guys should celebrate. And also the montage, which I saw at the start with the opening video was very impressive. I like the montage, very nicely, collaged together. I really liked it. Now, while Dr. Meenakshi has very rightly presented the facts, the evidence, and on certain important concepts in nutrigenomics, in order to fortify the knowledge you acquired in the certification, in your time here at Velocity, I thought my role, as a chief guest is to become a cheerleader for you guys. And I think with that said, I would like to emphasize on, the significance of applying certain skills at application level that will help you fill the gap which is observed in the nutrigenomics industry, and also in your respective diverse fields. So these skills are actively emphasized, in my university, which is a skills university. So it's all about the application level. So for that, I believe in looking at some intangible, characteristics that will help you do your job better, will make you amazing at your craft, and you will always be in demand for that. I did my PhD in Leeds, a world top 100 university, University of Leeds in West Yorkshire. And, they say life experiences either make you or break you. In my case, I consciously, let my experiences mold me into becoming better. And, through these long number of years, leading to successfully achieving my PhD in 4 years straight to becoming an entrepreneur of a successful company called All Things Diet, to enjoying my job profile as a faculty at Symbiosis, which is a huge brand in Maharashtra and of course in India, I have learned that the next 4 words, have proven to be useful in making me the person I am today, personally and professionally. So I thought, let's touch up on that. Let's talk about these 4 qualities which people generally take it for granted. And I really hope that they help you become better in your craft, in your industry in future. Now that you've got the certification, now that you're officially qualified to talk about nutrigenomics. First one is resilience. So you ought to have the courage to put the efforts relentlessly until things work out, especially with complex concepts related to nutrigenomics. I do understand that it takes time to get it right. Personally speaking, my experiments used to fail 45 times, and then the 46th time, suddenly it used to work. And the 48th time, it used to be officially approved. So having said that, you need to be strong-headed and, and get your concepts straight and keep working on your craft when it comes to the relation between genes and diet, which is a very important subject right now because you're dealing with health. So the methods used need to be need to be robust, need to be scientifically verified, scientifically approved, and that is going to help you get great results for your clients. This is what I personally believe. There will be times that you might feel stuck a little bit with your concepts and it is absolutely a good idea to keep brushing on it, stick to the efforts and invest those and get it right. So your role after the certification is mostly focused on your dietary recommendations according to epigenetics or according to nutrigenomics. And I feel your dietary recommendations is the key word here for today. So if you get those right, you will do your job better in future. So, and this course, since it has good content, it's a much needed course in the industry, and you will always be in demand once you go from, Velocity as students of Velocity. Especially abroad, what we have been seeing, the current trend is there is a lot of international funding. I mean, given by WHO or European Union Public Health Association. So these people basically are now emphasizing on conducting research between genetics and your diet through cohort studies or case trial studies, so randomized trial studies. So these are now making an impact on dietary recommendations for countries. So it's not only based on the old redundant techniques, but right now I'm just saying that it's a good decision you did this course, because definitely genetic based dietary recommendations are the way to go. And I'm sure India is going to be ready right now, and you're at the right place, right time for all of you to make like a healthy revolution, like what Velocity added in their montage in their start. The next is critical thinking skills. So right now you need to know the hows and whys of your concepts. The education system unfortunately has spoiled us to think what is supposed to be taught is what is taught. You have to question it. So my abroad experience trained me to challenge it. You have to challenge it, you have to question it, you have to find out why, you have to see if something is good, If something is good, why is it good? How good is it? Because just saying it's recommended is not enough. Why is it recommended? What evidence do you have? How are you supposed to incorporate it in daily life? Is it, viable? Is it practical? Is it doable? Do you think your customers or clients are going to practice it in future? Once they walk out of your consultancy your consultation appointment, I'm sorry. So you have to make sure that you get those critical thinking skills right. Accept if it's not okay, question it, and then you need to understand why is it not okay. All right, so it's not only positive, it can be negative also. So you need to have the critical thinking skills. The next one is empathy. So like how Dr. Meenakshi also said in her closing sentences of her talk, you will be meeting a lot of professionals, patients, clients, entrepreneurs in this industry if you decide to design a company of your own based on nutrigenomics in future. So what I recommend here is observe. The key word here is observe. Observe people, observe how a person functions, observe how their sense of awareness levels are, observe their beliefs, observe how they understand or assimilate concepts, and then you work your way around making the counseling better. So you don't observe it, probably, it's not going to make that human touch, that special personal touch, that X factor, come across. So that patient or that client or that person whom you're collaborating with will not come back again. You want some stability in your collaborations, of course. So this skill is going to help you in your counseling. So people connect better with professionals who are active listeners, who ask questions, and who empathize with their solution. So the ultimate goal is, to make an impact in people's life with your nutrigenomics supported dietary behavioral counseling. So this, saying it in a nutshell, your certificate is a knowledge medium, but your counseling skills are going to enable you get the best of interventions possible. And I think if you want to make magic, your intuitive skills during patient counseling is going to do the trick. The last skill, which I think is very important in 2022 as we start the year in the pandemic, is staying relevant. Are you relevant? Are you with the times? Are you keeping up with the trends? Do you have the sufficient skills to stay in touch with what people are talking about? So my observation is many people take certifications and they think that they have covered everything. It can't happen. You have to, that's just like a seedling. You have to build up on it. You have to continuously keep reading material. You have to keep in touch with your research studies. You have to, watch visual aids that's going to support you with, understanding the concepts which you learned so well in your course and then linking it with what's currently in trend. Okay, so my personal favorite is I love watching documentaries, which, generally these documentaries answer all your questions, the hows, the whys. Why is a concept that way? Why should you believe or why should you accept that a concept is that way? And, just a personal references, documentaries, they always, talk about the pressing issues, they dig deeper, they find out the origin, and then that helps you understand the concept. And then you never forget that because you've seen something, right? So it works better visually on your memory. Like, Mr. Stan very rightly said in his opening speech in keynote address today, you have to evolve with the time. You have to keep up with technology. You have to, stay in touch with, what's in trend, what are the advancements in the field of nutrigenomics, because this is the context of nutrigenomics. And I think the secret sauce or the meat of your success is in the field to stay relevant. So once you're lagging behind, you're just going to become obsolete, right? So you have to say, stay abreast with situations. Now, with that said, these 4 words have the power to shape your success in this field. right? So quickly revising again, relevance, empathy, critical thinking skills, and resilience. So I hope I have inspired you at least, to take one thought from my talk on this grand occasion and nudge you to think of best ways, strategies, plans, ideas that make you to utilize your certifications, which you have, which you have achieved or which was conferred to you today, in the best way possible. Once again, it was an honor to be present here, while you all, celebrate the success of the 6th convocation, and my best wishes to, to Velocity and to each one of you for, making this course grow magnanimously. And, the team, I hope the team gets to celebrate the 50th convocation too. Right. So thank you and enjoy the evening ahead. Thank you, Lavina, for the warm welcome again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sukshma. That was really wonderful. We definitely will commit ourselves to be resilient, think critically, and we'll express our empathy and then try to be relevant. I think you've been around with our organization, helping us, probably tracking us as to what we are doing. And I'm sure we'll collaborate much more intensely in the future to ensure that, we actually take out this message to all the people. So thank you very much. So I'd like to request everyone, whether your video is on or no, just to acknowledge both our, it's like double engine chief guests today with loads of information, relevant, endorsing what we are doing and trying to, help us and mentor us with their area of expertise. So thank you so much, Dr. Meenakshi and Dr. Sukshma Sharma as well. So thank you very much. Now we're going to have some exciting few minutes. We're going to have some rapid rounds as well. While we had Lavina extending having the honors of introducing the speakers and the chief guest today, I'd like to now request Reena, our CCNG course coordinator, to share her views about how did she enjoy working with this batch. So Reena, is your video on? Are you around or are you just logged out? Okay, all right. So I think she'll be back if she's logged out. Technically, sometimes two people log out and then she'll be back. Now, this is also an opportunity for some of the students to share as to what are their experience before I actually come back and then announce the results. We need to be ending somewhere around 9:30. We'll try to do that to an extent. So who'd like to go first? I'd like to randomly unmute people. So Yuvraj, let's start with you, Yuvraj. So quickly, you've got 30 seconds.
Thanks.
So try to make it quick.
Yes, I'll keep it short. I think in simple word, I would say nothing is important than your health. And I think genetic testing is knowing yourself. And CCNG 8-week program will give you this contextual knowledge where genetics can help you. And I think it's an immense value in a practical, digestible nuggets of information. In this sector, I think I'm getting a
YouTube also is on. Yeah, carry on.
Okay. So what I'm saying is the CCNG 8-week program actually it gives a very contextual knowledge to understand how genetics can help you. And in my view, there's nothing more important than this very important life skill. And I would also say that Mr. Sen, I think I'm really impressed with you because I noticed that you've been participating in all the 8 sessions. That's not a simple feat and it really encourages all. So I'm not from a background of nutrition and I gained an immense knowledge in terms of, one of the key takeaway is, as Dr. Meenakshi said that more than 80% problems are because of the environmental things. Knowing that we can save ourselves. And then regarding the remaining 20%, if you know our genes, that at what point and in what sense they can trigger, we can save. So there's nothing, I think, bigger than, I would say, knowing ourselves and nothing important than genetics. So I think with that, I close.
Good. Thank you, Raj, for your wonderful insight. So Reena is back. So let's listen from her about her feedback about the batch.
Thank you, Stan sir, and a warm welcome to everyone, the ex-students, the current students, our esteemed chief guests, and of course, my very honorable mentor here. Thank you so much, Meenakshi ma'am, for gracing us with your presence. So before I start talking about this batch, I know I'm not allowed to play favorites, but and I'm really sorry to the other batches. I know everyone is here, but Romina, ma'am. Okay, so basically what I'd say is this batch was really very interactive, even for us, the ones who are teaching. We also like it when, there's a lot of, a flow, a free flow of conversation, whether it is, during the teaching hours, or we are not lucky enough to have a classroom, right now in this situation where we can actually interact, face to face, but then we have the next best thing, which is Zoom. And what I like to say is when it comes to nutrigenomics and genetic testing as a tool, like Stan sir very rightly said, as a GPS, something that helps you map your life. So something that is inside every cell of your body that is telling you what health issue you could even end up.
Just put that curtain properly.
I'm sorry?
Carry on.
Okay. So, like I was saying, just like a weather forecast. Now, genetic testing is not something, it's something magical that, the moment you see your report in front of you, that's going to tell you, yes, you will end up having this health issue. No, it is like a map. It's like a weather forecast. Tomorrow, if there is a weather forecast that tells you that, it's probably going to rain, does it mean that it's going to rain? Not necessarily, right? It depends upon the atmospheric parameters. Similarly, what are the parameters in your life? It is your diet, your lifestyle, a lot of things that you have control over. So these are the factors that essentially go into later on, the gene expression. Epigenetics is what we call in short. So to me, it's been a privilege to be a part of your learning journey. And it's not just learning for us, it's more of the application, not just to your life, but also to the lives that you touch in the future. So thank you so much for being a part of, our, course. And we'd be more obliged if, you later on after this, you use this as a baton and you pass on this information to others that you come across. So thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. And
thank you, Reena. Thank you, Reena. Let's move ahead. We are running short of time. So let's give a big round of applause and acknowledge Reena for her wonderful sharing and all the work that she's doing with the students. So I'd like to now ask Rakhi Hemang. She's a veteran in the field of nutrition for a long time. We had the privilege of having her as a student. So Rakhi, if you could unmute yourself and share your feedback about what you learned out of this course.
Sure, Dr. Stan. Thank you so much. I think, this has been one of the best things that happened to me in the sense that, I was expecting that I'll be getting a lot of knowledge from this course. But the way it's been designed, like Dr. Sukshma just said, it's a robust course, very well planned. The entire syllabus has been so beautifully designed, where you're not only teaching us genes, but you're also teaching us about the nutrition and then combining it and teaching us how to do the reports. It is so beautifully done. A very big thank you to all the teachers, the professors, whoever taught us, because I don't know how many of the others did it, but I actually went through every Zoom meeting, the recording of everything, studied it, went through the videos, and I realized that it's not just that the teachers, sort of went through the thing and taught us. They did a lot of extra stuff. They, went through the efforts of explaining everything to us so beautifully in a layman language, and it has really, really helped each one of us. Syllabus designed beautifully, segments done beautifully, taught well by the teachers. A big thank you to all of you for all the efforts you've put in every single week to help us with everything. I personally feel those of us who are really keen on taking health to a different level in India, this is really going to help us, because so far, it's all been about personalized nutrition, where, a client tells us what is it that they know about themselves, and then we design things for them. Now with this gene report, that we are going to be doing, it's going to be more specific, and we're going to be doing more precision, where, we can tell them things that they don't know about their bodies, and it's going to really help us to take health to a different level. Some of us have a vision of making India a very healthy and a fit India, and this entire concept is really going to help us, take it to the place where we want to. So thank you so much for these efforts, for this wonderful course, and thank you once again.
Thank you, Rakhi. I think it's wonderful to give that sort of a feedback. I think you're doing wonderful work already with the people as far as nutrition is concerned, but I'm sure you'll do, you'll go a little extra mile with this course. Now, I'd like to request also another person from Tamil Nadu, a place called Namakkal, Mr. Netaji. Netaji, your feeling and what did you learn? I think you've been one of the keen students.
Good evening, Stan sir, and good evening to the entire, the crowd. And thanks a lot for the guest speakers today. Tonight, everyone shared your best. We enjoyed really. And thanks a lot to Lakshman who gave me this great opportunity. And I would like to thank even Kandasamy who brought me to this association. We learned many things, Stan sir. Really, actually, I'm into this field for the past 23 years, into this nutrition field. Okay, I've done nearly 5,000 plus health seminars, mostly within Tamil Nadu, and I've even traveled to Singapore, Malaysia, and even at Paris, several countries I've done this program. This is a 2-3 hours program I used to do it. And through the program, I've been, all these years, I've been doing, giving people health awareness, why supplements and why nutrition. But after getting the information from Lakshman and from this association, mainly from Stan sir and all the people, those who are guiding us, I would like to thank Reena Baliga, Ridisha, Lavina, and all counselors. Okay, they have done a great job. And what I have decided is now I am very sure that I can give complete solution to people. See, I was giving the solution to people, but it was not complete. I could find it after hearing their knowledge and all. The session, all the sessions really, as the previous person, she explained very well. It was really awesome. And hats off to our great Stan sir for such a great arrangement. Really, we enjoyed, and the patience and the way how they covered the subject and all, we learned many things, and we love to learn many more things from this particular association. Thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity, sir. And we will be your student, and we learn many things, and we want to take this to a very big area throughout the country, I would say. And let us all work together to create a healthy, wealthy, prosperous, and powerful India. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Netaji. We are running out of time, so I'm rushing. So don't take it otherwise. So I'd like to, from Tamil Nadu, let's go to Northeast, and then let's go to Mr. Geet Bartakur. So Geet is our Vice President for the Northeast region as well. He's been into surgical business for a long. Geet, your 30 seconds. What's been your feedback? He sent a wonderful feedback. We'll be posting it on the website, and we'll also broadcast you. But I'll give you 30 seconds for your soundbite.
Yeah, very good evening. Special guest, and to Stan sir, the CMD of this organization. On the very outset, I would like to thank, and I'd like to tell that this course is value for money. It's a very big and robust scientific course, which made easy with such a planned way that any layman or from any course people can come down and go for the nutrigenomics. And it's a really a value for money course. And after knowing all these things, we are in a different world. Something like I personally, when I went through this course, I just got addicted to these courses, all these chapters. And I, even in the night time also, I don't want to sleep. I just want to study all these things. It's a different world. So I really want to thank Stan Sharao, the CMD. Thank you very much, sir. And all the counselors, all the faculties who made it so simple that any layman can understand so easily. So thank you very much, and for giving us this opportunity to thank all the special guests and all the counselors personally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Geet. You definitely have a gene for addiction of CCNG course. That's a good thing to have. I'm sure most of you will have this kind of a gene. Now from Assam, Guwahati, I would like to come down again to South. We have a young student, Tanmay Desai from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Tanmay, how has been your learning? What did you learn in this course?
Very good evening to everyone. Firstly, I'd like to thank Stan sir and the entire team of Wignet for conducting the course so beautifully. It was very well designed and informative. All the counselors did a great job. I found the sessions to be very interactive, and very patiently all the counselors, answered the questions. Coming to the subject, nutrigenomics is a very trending aspect of wellness. It is fact-based and promotes preventive healthcare, making it an excellent subject of interest personally and from a business perspective. Kudos to the entire team for their dedicated efforts in trying to make more and more people aware of this and by reaching out through webinars and other media. So I'm sure Velocity is going to grow very big in the times to come. It's been amazing to be a part of this team. So once again, I'd like to thank everyone and wish the team good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanmay. You've been very crisp and precise. So thank you very much. Let's stay in South and let's go to Telangana. We have Janki Balaji, ma'am. Janki, ma'am, how was your experience with the course?
Good evening to all. You've been all only watching non-video of it today. I think you have a face for this. Sir, I take this opportunity, especially whatever today the certification I'm taking, I dedicate this to Dr. Stan Serro, sir, because he's been behind from the day one. I mean, the kind of fun push he was giving, because I was not confident because I was taking other courses. Thanks a lot for boosting that confidence to come into this course. And I can't believe I've completed the course. It was made very simple, great work by all the faculties. And I love the kind of reminders because I used to be very busy and these people call me, in next few minutes, you have this seminar course and I have to rush up, that kind of a service, before, it's excellent. The kind of an approach by the whole team, whenever I've called a couple of faculties also, very, very supportive, very, very approachable. The idea of me taking this course is to, for the society, I just want to do something good to the society, and I'm into different practices, and also I've added this. I think that will holistically help me to just give something good to the community. Thank you to the whole team, and fantastic talk by both as chief guests. It was wonderful association. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Janki ma'am. In fact, I must tell you that she had some true family members who lost their life during this period of 2 months, and then she was dealing with a lot of personal, emotional space as well. But then, in spite of that, she's been candid enough to actually, complete the course within the time that we're allotted. So let's come back to now Maharashtra. Albino Pereira, our own man, wellness man. Albino, you've been a good student as well. So your last bites, and then we have to actually move ahead to the climax of announcing the final result. So your last 30 seconds.
Thank you, Stan and everybody. Very good evening to everybody. I did the Ccng program course as I wanted to know more details and have an in-depth knowledge about genetics, epigenetics, and the various terms which are used, and its importance to get the maximum best results for myself, my family members, and all those who have given the DNA program to, so that they would also get very good health improvements. It has helped me a lot, and I've been very much, I wanted to specialize in this. The Ccng program organized by Wignet is very informative, is well explained by qualified and experienced nutrigenomic counselors and doctors, spearheaded by visionary CMD, Mr. Stan Serro, with his passion to share this amazing concept and technology to as many who are lucky to avail of this opportunity of doing their DNA program, which is predictive, preventive, personalized, participatory, and precision-oriented test. I'm happy I've done the course program. It has increased my knowledge quotient in nutrigenomics, which would help me in understanding better and following the guidelines by the counselors to guide others to the maximum positive results of doing their DNA test. I would, yeah, thank you. I would sincerely recommend and suggest all those who are serious about their health and their loved ones to do this information program. Thank you.
Thank you, Albino. Thank you. I think it's been wonderful to have you sharing your feedback. मैं जाऊंगा कल्पना राठौड़ मैम के पास. She's been a very nice student as well. कल्पना मैम, आपको ये कोर्स से क्या फायदा हुआ?
ये कोर्स बहुत डीप में है. मैं पिछले 10-11 साल से मैं हेल्थ इंडस्ट्रीज में काम कर रही हूँ, बट मुझे जो चाहिए था वो नहीं मिल रहा था. मतलब मुझे लग रहा था कि कहीं ना कहीं कुछ कमी है, मुझे और नॉलेज की जरूरत है। और थैंक यू सो मच मुझे इस कोर्स का पार्ट बनाने के लिए सर, क्योंकि इस कोर्स की वजह से मुझे बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन मिली है, बहुत ज़्यादा नॉलेज मिला है, और मैं चाहूँगी कि ये ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोगों तक मैं पहुँचा सकूँ, और उसके लिए मैं ज़रूर मैं कोशिश करूँगी। थैंक यू सो मच।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आपको और बधाइयाँ कि आपने ये कोर्स कंप्लीट किया है। तो अगले 5 मिनट में I would like to make it quick so that you just need to listen to your own performance that you have done. So what we have is a few slides which will announce. But before that, मेरी एक आपसे request है. The request is the next batch of CCNG starting this week, which is a February 2022 batch. So you heard students speaking their heart out and then expressing their what they got out of this class. So this course is, as I said, it has fundamentals of genetics. There are 12 chapters, 24 videos. We have fundamentals of nutrition. आपको nutrition के बारे में बुनियादी level से पता चलेगा. Foundation of nutrigenomics, जो दोनों हमारे जो chief guest है उन्होंने जिसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा अहमियत दी हुई है इस सब्जेक्ट को कि ये कितना जरूरी है, तो you will be able to find this out. And जब आप find out करोगे तो आपको personally खुद के लिए, family के लिए और समाज के लिए बहुत कुछ करने के लिए आपको प्रेरणा मिलेगी. And of course, then we are talking about a very interesting topic called the science of epigenetics. So 48 chapters, then of course, how to read the report and curate a action plan or a recommendation. So we usually take around 20 students because as you know, we would like to fine tune it and then probably we'll go a little higher later. And this is the price of the course, which is absolutely value for money. And of course, you can also get back to your business heads and area managers to find out how you can register. Friends, now I'm going to announce the results. So are you all ready? I want to know how many of you are really ready, not hungry still, you're still sticking back to know your how you have performed and how you've been able to do in this batch. So are you all ready? Yes or no? I want to see how many of you still have the energy to actually stay back and be very, very, very alert. Okay, so here we go. So let's look at the results. Here are the statistics. There were 22 students. 2 students could not complete the course simply because they had personal tragedies in their own family. They lost either their parents or somebody, so they will be taken for the next batch. And the another 7 students, we are not certifying them because they have not fulfilled certain conditions of the course, like going through all the classes or recording, etc. So they will be considered and they would be sent a separate information. So we're left with only 13 students, and the 13 students, how do we really present our scores? If you're doing 70 plus, it will be first class. If you're doing 85%, it will be distinction. And if you are doing more than 90% of your scoring, then it will be rank holders. So what we have right now is a few slides. I won't speak much. The slides themselves will tell you. So at the 10th position, the 10th rank, here you will see in the slides, probably there will be a little music at the background as well. So the 10th rank goes to Dr. Sunita Chowdhury. She is from Pune, Maharashtra. She has scored 70.4%. So let's acknowledge her and give a big round of applause wherever we are with your video or on or off, it doesn't matter. So that's Dr. Sunita Chowdhury, rank 10. At the rank 9, we have 2 students. An interesting name there, Dia Bomb and Remisa Jennifer Al-Bahrani. Both of them are from Mumbai, Maharashtra. They're scoring 86%. So that's at rank number 9. Okay, so at rank number 8, we have another student who is Geet Bar Thakur. He just spoke to you. He's done as high as 92.4%. So everybody from here are distinction students. So this is what they have scored with the online study and the exam that they had. Then at the rank number 7, we have Albino Pereira. He's done 93.6%. That might sound like FM radio frequency, right? Because everybody is in the 90s. So Albino, congratulations, you're at number 7. At number 6, we have Kalpana M. Rathod. She's from Mumbai, Maharashtra. And then Janki Balaji ma'am, who just spoke to us. She's from Hyderabad, Telangana. They've done 94%. So, you know, you can just chat on the chat box and keep congratulating them because they've done a wonderful job in spite of a lot of obstacles, adversities, time challenges and everything. So that's at rank number 6. At rank number 5, we have Pooja Wable. She's from Pune. I'm not too sure if she's present today. She's done 94.8%. So she bags the 5th rank in this batch. At the rank number 4, we have Yuvraj. Yuvraj, the person who opened the students sharing, and he's done 96.8%, very, very high marks. And they have been very, very studious. They have answered all that. So keep chatting and keep texting them and, you know, give your congratulatory messages to them. That will definitely encourage because they have worked very hard for the last 2 months. At the number 3, now, you know, all the students whose names have not been announced, so you can now expect your names to be here. So that's Mr. LV Netaji. So from Namakkal, Tamil Nadu, he's done very high, 97.6%. So he's at rank number 3. And it's wonderful, amazing to have that kind of achievement that's done. That shows that they have actually studied online and they've answered the questions which are online, you know, very, very accurately. Now let's go to number 2. So the students who have not, you know, your names are still not read out. So here you go. At number 2 is Tanmay Desai from Bengaluru, Karnataka, and Raki Hemang Pandit, Mumbai, Maharashtra. So 98.4%. So that's the, you know, that's very, very high marks that they have. But here is the breaking news. In the last 6 batches, we have never had somebody scoring what the next person has scored, and that's number 1st rank. And we have the last student who is yet to be announced, and none other than Mr. Kandaswamy. He's got all the 250 questions right and scored a perfect 100%. This has happened for the first time in all the 6 batches. So congratulations, Mr. Kandaswamy. I'm sure he's not logged in for some technical reasons, must be traveling. But I think the recording is available. You can actually watch the moment of all the students' glory. So congratulations to you, Wignet. On behalf of Wignet Management and Velocity Genetics, I'd like to declare you as the Certified Genomic Wellness Consultants. Your certificates are on your way. They'll be reaching you very soon through WhatsApp and through email. So let's congratulate everyone and let's celebrate their success. And I request all of you who have not been a student for CCNG, please register because we are open for the next 5 days. So by Friday, by Thursday, we'll be closing the sessions. And on Friday, we'll be starting the first class. So it's going to be not on Saturdays, but it's going to be on Fridays. Every Friday between 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So that 2 hours for the next 8 weeks. So your schedule will be put up on the website very soon. So it's going to be Friday. So all the students who have already registered, you will get your schedule on the WhatsApp very soon with your login credentials. I would like to now once again officially thank our chief guest, our faculty, all the people, all the students who have stayed back till now. And we are a little short over time, by almost 20 minutes. But I think thank you very much for staying back. So with this, we close. So goodbye and good night.
Recording stopped.
सा गया है ये मन, खुल सा गया हर बंधन, जीवन अब लगता है पावन।